Today marks 1273rd day sharing lessons I learn and continue to learn with all of you. My hope that these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help you achieve your goals, and will empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about transitions, about starting something new. A lot of times when you start something new, it requires a ton of mental and emotional energy. It drains like crazy. When you start a new job, you start a new business, you start a new career, you start developing new skill set, it doesn't matter. It will require much more mental and emotional energy during those days. So you need to get ready for it. You need to prepare for it. And you need to understand that you need to manage it. Today specifically, I will focus. Why is that? Why is that? Why is those days when you make that transition, when you make that shift? Is your energy feels drained at the end of the day, and after a couple of weeks you get back to normal because you don't use that much of energy in a short period of time. So number one is that there's a lot of uncertainty. So when you start something new, starting a new job, new business, there's a lot of uncertainty, and that of course that uncertainty, what it does a massive mental load, because you're always asking, am I doing right? Am I doing wrong? What happens if I fail? So there's a lot of questions, and that mental questioning all the things is really putting a lot of drainage regarding our mental capacity. Now, one thing is that we need to understand that there's massive difference between employment and a business. If you understand that there's quite significant uncertainty in career in job, and a lot of times people do not realize how much different will be when you actually start something new, where there's no ceiling, there's no floor, and there's a much bigger uncertainty. And again, this is the separator. This is the separator between successful people in the business and successful people in employment, because you need to be able to handle that uncertainty, and that's okay for the first week or two. That when you start something new, it will be especially massive uncertainty. And I love really analogy with the rocket launch. Rocket launch at the beginning requires a massive fuel. I don't know like how many, like 70-80% of fuel is burned at the beginning of the flight, and after it's just cruise. And I think exactly the same with our mental and emotional drainage. When starting something new, we just drain an enormous amount of energy because we need to get ourselves started. So the first one is that uncertainty really drains our energy, that mental load. Number two is cognitive load. That means that there are so many things that we need to really build. Now, a lot of things that we do, we autopilot. We've done hundreds, thousand times. You don't need to really cognitively think about how to do it and when to do it, everything in between, and it doesn't drain us. But when you start something new, there will be a lot of things that you need to build, your routines, systems, in place, and that will require a lot of cognitive power, and that cognitive power will be drained much, much faster in the first week or two, even month. It depends what specifically you are doing. Number three is fear of failure, ego risk. I think that this is again, what will people think? What will happen if I fail? Like all those things, like what will happen if I will be rejected? What happens if I will be abandoned, or whatever it is? Like it could be that there's a lot of you're putting your ego on the line. And of course, that potentially could drain emotional well-being as well for a short period of time. And but that's again, it's a good thing. I think that is a beautiful thing when you think about majority of people are not able and willing to put their ego on the line to really make things happen, to really live a fulfilled and free life. So what is more important? Put your ego on the line or stay where you're at? Because a lot of it's saying that most likely what you pursue when you make a transition is not perfect, and nothing is perfect. But most likely will be better where you are right now when you make those smart choices. Number four is your brain is actually rewiring yourself. That means that this could be a mindset, a skill set, it could be there's a lot of neural pathways are created with the first week or two, because we need to do a lot of things potentially differently than we used to do in the past. So we need to rebuild ourselves, re-understand ourselves. Even the brain needs to rewire himself, and that rewiring takes a lot of mental capacity and energy as well. I mean, sometimes we lose so much energy, and I think that sometimes we do not realize that how much our brains need that requires energy a lot. That's why we need to really take care of our physicality during the transition times even more, because we will need even more energy. So the more healthy you are, the more able to really shrink that transition time, because the less energy you have, you extend how long will it take for you to actually get into the routines and rewire your brain. Number five is that there's no momentum yet. I think that everything the start that I'm having to mention that transition is like a rocket launch, and that building that momentum is massively hard. Even a train. So start a train is it's very hard. Even so, like even a small brick could stop a massive train. But when you build that momentum, when you move that train, even a massive wall will not stop the train. I think that is exactly is with our new transition. When we start, it's very hard. We need to be very careful, because a small brick could stop us from really pursuing the things that we want. But when we're moving, nothing will stop us. So you need to understand that we need to really start small, not allow those bricks to really stop us, and keep moving forward. And that's again, that's building momentum requires a lot of energy. But when you build that energy, you move with that momentum. Uh, I think that we number six is identity conflict, and what it means that is that we're able to start questioning ourselves. Is this actually for me? Like when we think about, okay, I want to be a business owner, but I start a business, and then first couple of weeks, like, is that for me or not? Maybe it's that for other people, not for me. Maybe you even start to self doubt. There are those questions: is it me? Is it not me? There's sometimes put a lot of a lot of load on our emotional and mental energy, because we question if this was the right thing for us as a person, as an identity. And I think that's totally natural. Um, it's totally natural sometimes that you have self doubt. The most important part is acting anyway, no matter what is going through. Number seven is decision fatigue. This is very natural, and that is a common thing. And then because we start asking so many questions to ourselves: what do I need? Where do I start? And everything between, we're not able to really come back home and really make really decisions at home anymore or anything else, because we used all the decisions to really make things happen at that transition. And that's why you feel that it's very hard to make decisions potentially in the evening, because you're so tired, because you use all decision making process during the day. And I think that it's very important to understand that when you use decisions all day long, those decisions at the end of the day will get weaker, because they're not thinking properly, because they don't have any more power left. So you need to be very careful to make decisions in the evening, because we probably smarter in the morning, because we're able to really have more mental capacity in the morning that is recharged. Number eight is over awareness. That means that looking into yourself from a perspective that I want to be aware, and everything, every small detail is aware. And it's good sense, but sometimes if we look into every single small detail, again, we need to understand what is the details, what is not, because we don't need every single detail. We need to major in major things. We don't need to major in the minor things. So that means over awareness for short period maybe is good, because we just understand, okay, what is that is important, what is not. But then again, really asking those questions and really looking every single thing, and asking small things, self monitoring. I think at the beginning is great, but it'll require a lot of, again, energy to do so. A last thing that I want to mention is that there's no feedback loop yet. And what feedback loop a lot of times does is that when you really take action, you get result, you get reward, and you get dopamine, and that dopamine really allows you to really make things happen and really move forward. And sometimes when you really start, maybe there is no results yet, no rewards yet. You're just learning and learning and learning and learning how to really execute and how to move. And that no feedback loop yet really puts toll on your energy, because you basically drain your energy and you're not adding anything. So that means we need to make sure that we do during the day something that really elevates our energy, just to make sure that we keep pushing forward. Because when you keep doing the right thing, we're able to really get into that reward and the results mode, enjoy the process, and of course that dopamine will allow us to even move faster and move in the momentum that allows to make that transition even smoother. So I hope you reflect, how often do you make transitions? I think that we need to understand that transitions could be in every aspect of our life: how you make your money, what kind of career you pursue, what kind of exercise do you do, how you take care of your wealth and health. That means that what kind of food you eat, what kind of exercise you do. There's so many transitions on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes we don't think about transitions. But I think that we need to understand that we need to constantly make decisions in one area of our life. I think that we're not supposed to overdo it, because if you're changing everything at the same time, at that moment could be overwhelming. But then you change, okay, this week I will change something in my health. This week I will change something in my finances. This week I will change something in my relationships. And I'm able to make those weekly transitions. I think that's where we're able to achieve that massive, massive success. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.